Hello YouTube, this is Diamond003. I'm coming to you with a new Magic the Gathering budget deck tech, and this time it's not going to be a blue-black control, it's not going to be a white-black warriors, it is going to be a mono-green devotion. That's right, mono-green devotion, Magic the Gathering budget deck tech. So let's get right into it. First, section 1, we've got the mana base. So, as this is only a one-color deck, I didn't want to make it too expensive, especially because it is a budget deck tech. And having said that, I didn't want to put any fetch lands because that would just be off the charts expensive. So we've just got a simple 20 forests, which is kind of a lot, and 4 Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. This is really important because we have tons of devotion. And that means that you add, you can pay 2 generic and tap it, choose a color, add that many to your mana pool of the color equal to your devotion to that color. And I have a total of 70 devotion in this deck. So that is quite good for this deck. So now let's head into the creatures, section 2. And this is the ramp creatures. So in a mono green devotion, if you don't know much about it, you're going to need a lot of ramp to help get your creatures. The highest creature, which I will show you later, is a 7-drop. And yeah, so here's the ramp. It includes Elvis Mystic, Sylvan Caryatid, I believe it's Sylvan Caryatid, and a Whisperer of the Wilds, which is a new Fate Reforged. So the Elvis Mystic is nice because it's a 1-drop and you can get some creatures out second turn for those for about $1. Then the highly expensive Sylvan Caryatid for 3. I'm putting 3 of those. I normally would put 4, but they're $8 each, so it's kind of expensive to put in 4. So I just put in 3, and then just one more, a Whisper of the Wilds, which is kind of cool because we have quite a few creatures that actually can activate the Ferocious ability. So you can get that 2 green if you get that out. But I mean, we've only got 1, so it's unlikely that you get it out. But still, quite a bit of good ramp. I really like the Sylvan Caryatid because it's got hexproof and it's a 2-drop. So let's move on to the normal creatures, and this is also section 2 continued. So in the normal creatures, we have 4 Genesis Hydra, 4 Boon Satyrs, 2 Terra Stompers, and 4 Arbor Colossus. So I'd just like to point out before I keep going, there are just creatures in this deck, and lands, of course, but there are just creatures. There are no instants or sorceries or no planeswalkers, just creatures, because I don't know, I didn't really feel it was necessary. I was thinking about putting in a couple Court of Callings, but I didn't think it was necessary because really, if you know about that card, it is a 3 green. You have to pay 3 green and X, but it does have Convoke, which is nice, and you can look through your library for a creature card with that converted mana cost, and you can put it on the battlefield. But I was just thinking that my creatures are a little bit too expensive for that. I could get, maybe an Elvis Mystic or a Sylvan Caryatid with that, but I didn't really feel it was necessary, so I just put in all creatures. And so now let's continue. So as I was saying, we've got Genesis Hydra, Boon Satyr, Terra Stomper, and Arbor Colossus. Genesis Hydra is very nice. You can get it really high late game, and you can also get pretty good early game to maybe snag a Boon Satyr. I'll read it to you just if you don't know what it is, because it is amazing and I love it. They are about $2 each, so it's about $7.50 for 4, but I think it's really important to put a playset of those. You've also got 2 devotion, and here's what is on the card. When you cast Genesis Hydra, reveal the top X cards of your library. You may put a non-land permanent card with converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield. So that's really important. You put them onto the battlefield, and then shuffle the rest into your library. So it's really cool. So like if you put it out for X, you pay 2 green and 5 generic, and you put it out for 3. Then you search the top 3. So let's say there's a Sylvan Caryatid. You can put that onto the battlefield without paying anything, which is super cool. And it also enters the battlefield with X +1/+1, so then it'll be a 3/3. So I think it's a super awesome thing. It can really help, especially if you get it super high. Like, if you get it up to 6, you can get almost every card in this deck, which is super awesome. Then you've got your Boon Satyrs, which is Flash, I really like. And then you've got your Bestow, 4/2. And also have the Terror Stomper. It can't be countered, which is kind of interesting. 6-drop for 8/8, and Trample, which is kind of cool. And then pretty much our only defense against flying, besides another card that I'm going to say later. But this is our real big blocker against flyers. And it is a 5-drop, 6/6 reach with Monstrosity for 3 green, 3 generic. Monstrosity 3. When it becomes monstrous, you can destroy a target creature with flying and put it under control. So there's a really troublesome flying creature, which I doubt it because it's a 6/6. You can always take care of it by destroying it. Then it turns into 9/9, which is super cool. Then we have Section 2 continued again, and we've got the awesome creatures. Whoops. Sorry, my cursor went a little bit wild. There was a little preview there. So anyways, we've got a playset of Voyaging Satyrs, which is really interesting in this deck because of the Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. You can untap that. You pay 2 forest, and let's say you've got 10 devotion. You pay that 10. Tap the Voyaging Satyr, and then you can untap the Nykthos, pay another 2 land, get more devotion out. So it's super amazing, and it can really help with that Nykthos. Doesn't really do much else, but it's really good for that. And then we've also got 2 Sandsteppe, I believe it's Sandsteppe, it might be Sandstep, but I call it Sandsteppe Mastodon, and that is a 7-drop, 2 green, 5 generic, 5/5 for reach. When it enters the battlefield, bolster 5. That's a new mechanic for, Fate Reforged. Sorry, I was blanking. It is also a rare for Fate Reforged, and bolster is choose a creature with the least toughness among creatures you control, and put 5 +1/+1 counters on it. So, if you want to put it on, I don't know, if you want to put it on, let's see, so the win conditions, if you want to put it on one of the Hornets for the Hornet Queen, you can have a 7 flyer death touch or a 6/6 flyer death touch. So it's super awesome. I can just get those creatures to the next level. So it's amazing. And what I like about it is it's the least toughness that you control. So you can kind of choose. So if you've got an Elvis Mystic, let's say, and then you've also got the Hornet Queens, little minions out, then you can do that. And if you don't know what Hornet Queen is, I will definitely read it to you because it is the most amazing card. They're pretty expensive, but I'm putting in a playset for $18. We've also got a Polukranos World Eater, which is even more expensive than the Hornet Queen, but they're very vital in this deck. And we are putting in a playset of those for about $24.50, excuse me. So the Hornet Queen is a 2/2 flyer death touch for 7, 4 generic, 3 green. When the Hornet Queen enters the battlefield, put 4 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and death touch onto the battlefield. So that's super cool. You got a ton of blockers for the flyers, as I said. You've got the Arbor Colossus and the Hornet Queens. You can chump block and kill any flyer really with that dude, unless it has hexproof or whatever. And it's super amazing. And then you can also just swing in for 1,000,000 damage. Which is super awesome, and then you can, tack with some and then leave some. I think it's just an amazing all-around card. Yeah. And then anyways, we've got Polukranos, which is a beast mode. It's a 4-drop 5/5, which first is super awesome. Then we've got Monstrosity X, so you got to pay 2 mana for 1 X, basically. And if this creature isn't monstrous, Then when Pelucranos becomes monstrous, it deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures your opponent controls. So let's see. It deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures your opponents control. Each of those creatures deals damage equal to its power back to Pelucranos. So it's really cool, because you can choose any number of target creatures. So if they have one creature that has a really big power, like let's say you Monstros Pelucranos for 3, and they've got us like 10-10. You don't want to put it on that dude. Let's say they got a 1-1. You want to do that, and it'll kill it, and it'll just deal 1 damage back to Pelucranos, which is super awesome, and it just gets hecka powerful. So anyways, after all those awesome cards, we've got the total price. So our budget for this budget deck is $100 as usual, and the actual price is surprisingly under $100. It is $97.85. So I really hope you enjoyed this. I super recommend you get this deck. It is amazing. Standard as a Fate Reforged. Thank you. I'm DiamondHero03. This is my channel, Diamond Hero Gaming. Thank you so much for watching. Please slap that like button. Please subscribe. Also, check out my other videos. Thank you so much for watching again, and peace